Welcome, everyone, to another episode of La Cosecha Media Lounge. I'm your host, Andrea Connor with Summit K-12, and today we have the fabulous Karina Chapa from TAVE. Karina, thank you so much for being here today. How are you?
Thank you so much. I'm great. Enjoying La Cosecha every second of it.
It's fun, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And the good thing is you're not having to run it.
Oh my gosh, that's the best. I finally can stop and talk to people,
yes,
right?
You can enjoy it instead of running around putting out fires.
That's the best. That's the best feeling.
Well, can you tell, for the people that don't know you, can you tell us a little bit about who you are? What is your why?
Of course. So I'm Karina Chapa. I'm originally from Monterrey, Mexico. I came to the US, actually to Texas, 25 years ago after meeting my husband online in 1997. So there was internet in 1997, right? So we met and I finished my college degree from El Tec de Monterrey. I have a bachelor's in international relations. And when I moved to Texas, I was finally able to accomplish that dream that I had since I was a little girl, which was becoming a teacher. Right. So my husband was studying education. He's a music educator. And I went through an alternative certification program. And the rest is history. I was a bilingual education teacher. I finished my master's in bilingual education and school principalship. I've been a campus administrator, district administrator, regional administrator. And now after un poquito de todo y más.
Exactamente.
Sí, so after more than 2 decades of being a bilingual educator, now I have the pleasure of being the executive director for the Texas Association for Bilingual Education.
Awesome. You mentioned ALT certification, and I'm only asking this. I'm ALT certified too.
Yes.
And sometimes I feel like when I came in the field, it was like,
right.
You're ALT certified. Y ahora, I hear people are like, we want ALT certified. Like it's
the norm.
So what would you say? Like, what is your thoughts on that?
My take.
Yes.
My hot take.
Yes.
So something that I have experienced, of course, people, because I also teach future bilingual teachers. I teach in Texas A&M Kingsville as an adjunct. So I love my classically trained, right, educators. But I think alternative certification people, we bring a different view, perspective, and appreciation of the public school system, because I know things could get better and will get better. We cannot lose that hope. But in reality, comparing it to private sectors, oh my goodness. I mean, like, it's nice to be a teacher. Yes, it's great to be a bilingual educator. And yes, it's not all about the summers. I get it, because we work 24 hours a day for 10 months. But
and
just the
rewards,
even in the summers, yes. But just the rewards, those smiles and those hugs that suddenly you're walking in a school and somebody hugs your legs.
Yes.
In the private sector, you would freak out, right? But in public schools, that's a beautiful thing to see. And if anything, that's something that I miss, right? Having more contact with children, because they're our why. Definitely. Every single day we wake up to work for them. And in Texas, we have 1.3 million bilingual learners. So of course, for every single one of them and for their parents, their families, and their communities, we do what we do. But yes, going back to alternative certification, I think we just bring a different perspective and that direct connection with real life jobs and what skills are needed out there. So we bring that to the education, and that's a great plus, in my opinion.
Yes, I do miss the kids. I miss them humbling me. One time I had a student, I have naturally curly hair too. And I was like, I don't feel like doing my hair. So, así me fui. Me dijo, Mezcano, ¿y esas greñas?
No se peinó, ¿o qué?
And I laughed with him, and they're like, you didn't get mad? I said, no, because he felt comfortable enough with me to say that, and I thought it was funny, and it's one of my favorite stories.
And you know what? That reminds me of my own anecdote here. I was a third grade teacher, and I remember teaching cause and effect and inferencing, right? So I was saying, okay, boys and girls, what would you think if one morning I come in toda desgreñada, toda desfajada, con chanclas, toda tirada, And they're like, oh, that you got drunk last night. I'm like, no, you don't have enough evidence to draw that conclusion. Like, that's what evidence is, right?
Yes.
What do you know about me that you can make a good inference?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. After that, they really got what
Yeah,
inferencing was all about,
that's a
right? Because
good
they're like,
one.
no, we don't know enough about Miss Chapa to know that she is banda de
Yes,
borracha,
I
right?
know what I-
But they're like, oh, maybe your car broke down. Maybe your alarm didn't go off. I'm like, those are better
see.
inferences.
Yes.
But it's about the relationship you have with
Exactamente.
children,
Sí,
right?
sí.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yes, and you do such amazing work. I actually was fortunate to be able to be on one of your, when you were at Region 1, I got
Yes.
to be in one of your trainings
Oh, great.
with Del Pass and all that.
Yes.
It was a lot of us, and we
Yes.
were Zoom. So, but you do such amazing work. And one of the things you're doing right now, you're really paving some of the way for syllabi literacy. So I'd
Yes.
love for you to talk to us a little bit about
course.
that.
Of course. So we know in every state there's challenges, right? And we understand the US Department of Education has recognized that every state now has a biliteracy seal. However, we need to read the fine print on those documents because in Texas in particular, we don't have a state seal of biliteracy yet. That's one of our legislative priorities. We are coordinating with other organizations to make sure we continue advocating to have a state seal of biliteracy. Pero yo soy bien desesperada.
Sí, lo
Entonces,
ahorita.
este año, o sea, no, lo quería ayer. O sea, ¿para qué esperarnos? Sí, vamos a seguir tratando, no tratando, pero a seguir insistiendo con los legisladores para tener un sello de biliteracidad a nivel de Texas. Sin embargo, dije, no nos vamos a esperar. So what did we do? We got a committee together because I have a fantastic board of 15 experts from around Texas. I'm like, okay, I'm going to tap into this knowledge base that we already have here. And we created a document to celebrate the biliteracy trajectories for all our bilingual learners and more kiddos who are also benefiting from a bilingual or multilingual education, right? So now with the TABE Seal of Biliteracy Trajectories, people can just go into our website, tabe.org. They will see the full document right there posted. It's free. I mean, you can just download it. And they're going to see that we have different levels of performance. So at the pre-K level, we can already award them with a recognition for starting that linguistic trajectory. And then at the 5th grade level, 8th grade, 12th grade, and we didn't stop there. We even created an award for the university. So when students, I was going to say children because I have a child in college, so he's my child, right?
Yes.
Children. But kiddos in college, they can also receive a recognition for having completed that biliteracy trajectory because bilingualism is not up to 5th, not up to 8th, not up to 12th. Biliteracy is for life.
Sí.
Right? So we want to celebrate that along with the families. So in that document, they will be able to find criteria, guidelines, some ideas on how to celebrate their families along the way, how to encourage them to continue going. And for example, in my case, I am a parent of a dual language learner. My daughter, Ana Sofia, went through dual language from kinder through 8th. And that was an incredible experience. Right now in high school, actually, she's going to Spain in June, and she feels comfortable enough to do that because of dual language. Not because her mom is an immigrant, which helps, of course, not because her mom speaks Spanish, which helps, of course, but it was that collaboration with the school system because my son didn't benefit from dual language. So even though he has an immigrant mother, a mother who speaks Spanish, he is not as biliterate as my daughter, right? So we see that how important it is, that connection between schools and families. And part of the biliteracy trajectories is that it's focusing on what the families bring to the table, but also how us as school systems, we can support that trajectory. So yeah, we have it on our website, tabe.org. People can go explore it. Of course, we also have the little awards that if they want to purchase through Tabe, they can, but they don't have to. They can get their own awards. What we do have for free is also the certificates. That way families can be recognized with a certificate from Tabe. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. Last year, we already started awarding these recognitions. And I remember going in person to a pre-K celebration. It was so nice to see el abuelito, la abuelita. Y cuando platicábamos con los niños de que por qué te gusta el programa dual, por qué quieres ser bilingüe y biletrado, porque quiero platicar con mi abuelita,
Sí,
quiero
pero
oír sus historias. And it's like, okay, that's why we don't sleep. That's why we don't eat, because we want to see this, right?
Yes.
So it's so worth it what we all do
Mhm.
together to continue encouraging our bilingual community around the nation, really.
Yes, absolutely. And it's great work. And there are some school districts who are doing, I know
Yes.
like Austin ISD, they do a huge celebration
Beautiful.
and things like that. Are there some districts that you're, looking at as models and kind of picking their brains as well?
Yes, yes, and that's what we did. When we
Mhm.
created this document, then we pushed it to a
Mhm.
few districts who had experience already, and companies as well, organizations. We collaborated, for example, with IDRA. So they are also experts in bilingualism and biliteracy with a few researchers. They gave us their feedback. We present every single time that we have the opportunity. We present on the biliteracy seal. We're doing it here in La Cosecha tomorrow. They gave us that opportunity because we want to get their feedback and we correct and enhance whatever we have to correct and enhance. That's the beauty that it's owned by TABE, but it's really owned by
everyone,
the
by the
whole
state, right?
community.
By,
Yes,
yes, yeah.
yes. So we didn't have to wait for anybody, especially those districts that might not have the staff or the support that they need or the time to develop their own guidelines. They can use ours and just grab what they like from the document and create their own. Also, for San Juan Alamo, right? You
Sí.
mentioned Austin ISD. They have been doing it for years and years. So we pushed these documents to them. They reviewed them. They gave us their feedback. So that's why it's such a robust and we hope very useful document for all.
Well, and you mentioned your presentation tomorrow
Yes.
here at La Cosecha.
Yes.
What do you love about La Cosecha? What do you
Ay.
love? And I know Tabe is an
No, of
amazing conference,
course.
but
No, no,
what
no.
makes this one a little special for
Yes,
you?
yes. So it was very interesting when I took the job of executive director of TABE because I had the experience with La Cosecha already. I think I started coming here to La Cosecha probably maybe 7 years ago, and I started presenting right away, virtually or in person. And the feeling is so different. But I think it's also New Mexico.
Yeah.
You know, and New Mexico people, of course, I love my Texas, right? But it's just a different flavor of our culture
Otro
and
sazón.
our people. Yeah, están sazonados
Sí,
diferente.
exacto.
Que en
Cada
Texas.
comida
Es todo. Correcto,
Sí.
correcto. Entonces, I think it's the cultural feeling. They do a great job in highlighting our native people, our indigenous languages, our other languages, not only English and Spanish, and they do a fantastic job at that. So from the exhibitors to the proposals to the sessions to the keynotes to all the organizers, everybody, I mean, it's just beautiful. So when I became executive director, I started thinking, son nuestros hermanos de la cosecha. We're not competition.
Absolutely not.
We're siblings, right? So
Somos
we
primos.
can only, sí, exacto. No, hermanos. Bueno, primos hermanos.
Primos hermanos, ¿verdad?
Primos hermanos, sí. Igual hablé hoy en la mañana con el director ejecutivo de CABE también, porque uno de mis objetivos, ¿verdad? De mis metas es unirnos como estados fronterizos, como organizaciones de estados fronterizos para hacer algo más grande y crear esa resistencia y ese apoyo a la educación bilingüe, ¿verdad? Sobre todo nosotros que estamos en la frontera,
Sí.
pero también tratando de ayudar a los
A
demás
los demás
estados.
que ahorita
sí.
están, ¿qué hacemos? ¿Qué tenemos que
Correcto.
hacer? Y hay, poder ver, porque eso es lo que escucho, dicen, no, debes de ir a este
Sí,
estado. Es bien diferente. Nosotros
Sí.
estamos haciendo las cosas bien.
Sí.
And I think that's good for educators to hear is like,
Right.
because sometimes we're like, we're not doing enough. It's not enough. It's not,
Yes.
but to have outsiders look in and say, no, you guys are on the right
Yes.
track. You guys are doing, and we can always improve.
Right.
But knowing like, okay, we there's a baseline and we're doing okay. We can always get
Right.
better.
Yes, yes, it's that little pat in the
Yes,
back.
yes.
And I remember that's exactly the feeling the first time I came to La Cosecha. It was in Albuquerque, and I think I was already in Region 1. So I was presenting in Spanish on spelling and grammar. I mean, some people might think it's the most boring thing ever, But the reaction of the attendees, I'm like, where are these people coming
Yeah.
from? Like, they're so receptive and happy and appreciative. And many times, you know, como decimos, nadie es profeta en su tierra, ¿verdad? Entonces empecé a ver que había la misma necesidad que vemos en Texas, pero en otras partes. And then me animé to start presenting at NAVE and other places, and I started noticing more commonalities than differences, and the needs are always there. And when we talk about what we do in Texas and what we have in place through the state education agency, they're amazed because other states, sadly enough, they don't receive the support that we do receive in Texas, right? So I think just that cross collaboration with other states, and that's something I truly appreciate. Michael, right away, when I became executive director, we had a meeting, Michael Rodriguez, right away. I mean, nos vemos, nos saludamos, o sea, no somos competencia, ¿verdad? Es más que nada, entendemos que juntos somos más fuertes y estamos aquí por nuestros estudiantes y por sus maestros y sus familias. So we align our objectives very well. And we have learned a lot from La Cosecha, and TABE keeps growing.
Yes.
But I have to say, it's because I come to these events, and CABE, the same thing, NAVE, and I'm always very observant. Ooh, I like how they did that. Let me implement that next time in TABE. So poquito a poquito, we learn from each other, and you know, we grow stronger that way.
Yes, and like Delma from Cave,
Yes.
she was able to see the awards that we did the Summies at Cave, and she's like, okay, let's do them at Cave too. So we learn from each other, we get to bring it, and I do love that I get to see all those organizations at all the other conferences we go to.
Yeah, I was so excited and happy because last year we also invited all NAVE affiliates to attend TABE. This year we also had Oklahoma, but I want to say this is the first time this past, 3 weeks ago, right? At the TABE conference, it just happened.
It just happened.
But it was the first time CABE and La Cosecha, or Dual Language New Mexico, had a booth as well.
Yes.
So I'm happy to have a booth here as well for TABE because there's a lot of Texans who come to La Cosecha, bastantes. Entonces se acercan, pues yo ni sabía de TABE. I'm like, pues aquí estamos, ¿verdad? Digo, 52 años después, ¿verdad? Pero ya te enteraste que aquí estamos.
Sí.
Pero está bien, o sea, es promovernos mutuamente porque nos estamos apoyando, ¿verdad? And sharing is caring.
Yeah, that's right.
So I don't see it as, I'm going to steal that idea. No, I'm going to borrow that idea because you're brilliant, right? And if you find anything great in our conference, please take it. Because after all, the ones who will benefit are the children and their families, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here. It's always an honor to sit with you and listen to the great things that you have to offer and to share with everyone.
Of course, absolutely. It's our pleasure to serve our community. Y mil gracias, Summit K-12, for all your support. I appreciate that.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to another episode of La Cosecha Media Lounge. And thank you, Karina Chapa, for being here today. And everyone, remember, keep learning, stay curious, y hasta la próxima, disfruta el viaje.